Not sure how to save money on anything? Or is everything just too expensive? As a below poverty line individual, I get it. There are things I can teach you and ways to save money differently. So if that interests you, stay tuned. Welcome to my home and let's see what I am doing. Hey, banana. If you are low income and struggling to make ends meet, just know that there are resources available to help you out. You can go to any police station, any social services, anywhere that provides information about resources you can go to, or you can go online and look it up there. You do not have to go hungry. You do not have to be cold. You do not have to be homeless. And you deserve to be safe and secure and happy and have everything in life that you deserve. So please reach out where possible. This is the first thing I am prepping for the month of March 2026. It is just a simple pesto. You're going to need 2 or 3 batches of this. So you will need either containers to store them in or Ziploc bags or whatever you have. And I will show you the ingredients you need now. So I will put a price up right now, showing you how much each thing costs and a total at the end. The first thing you'll need is some baby arugula, or you can use any green if it's on sale. A lemon, and if you have a sale on bags of lemons, you can always do lemon water with them, or use them in other ways such as freezing the juice and the zest, so that you can get more use out of fewer dollars. If you can afford fresh garlic, definitely go for that here, but I am just using powdered garlic for this month to make it more shelf stable and readily available for people. If you can find a good deal on baked cheese, definitely use that. But if you want your dollar to go a bit further, I would get like a 700 gram or more block of cheese. Now let's prep our pesto. Simply start by heating up your lemon in the microwave for about 20 to 30 seconds. If composting, don't forget to take off the sticker, as those are not compostable. So if you can afford one, you can definitely get a pestle and mortar to make this process easier. If you can't afford one, you can always use like a blender or a food processor or anything that blends well. So to your blender or pestle and mortar or whatever you're using for blending your pesto up, you are simply just going to add in your leaves, and you want to get the leaves a bit broken down before you start this recipe. So just blend it or mush it or do what you need to do to get it a bit finer and smoother. If you can't find an affordable green in store, you can also use some frozen peas that you cook in the microwave until they're defrosted and kind of go from there. But I had a really good deal on a couple of leafy vegetables, so that is what I am using this week. And also, don't be afraid to mix and match your greens. So if there's one thing that's on a really good deal, like arugula, and you also have some like living lettuce, which lasts quite a while in your fridge, then you can either get the living lettuce or the arugula, or you can combine them both, and that'll work just nicely in this recipe. So I have used about 2 cups of greens total. And then after this, we're just going to add the rest of our ingredients. And before we freeze them, we're going to let the other ingredients that we mix into this sit with it for about a day so that the flavors marry together a bit better. If you have oil, you will also need that, but if you don't have oil, you can just add in a little bit of water to help dilute the intenseness of the pesto.
Ding ding dong.
Some nuts. This is completely optional though if you're allergic to them, or you can even substitute out stuff like pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds if you are not allergic to those. I also added a small amount of nuts to mine. That is completely optional though. It depends if you can have them, such as you're not allergic to them, or if you can afford them. You can also substitute a small amount of peanut butter if you wanted to, but I find that real nuts are best in this case because you can kind of overdo it with the nut butter. So the nuts are completely optional. I'll leave that up to you. If you don't want to use them, that is completely fine also. And now to our pesto. We are going to add the juice of a little bit of lemon. If you're not sure what to do after you cut them open, you can always put the juice into a small container or even an ice cube tray, freeze it, and that way you don't waste any of the juice. And I got a seed in there right away. There we go. So you just need a small amount of lemon juice in this recipe. We are also going to add a small amount of cheese to this. You don't need a lot because we are trying to save money here. But you can do about a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons if you really want, of any kind of cheese. It can be fresh or frozen. And then we're just going to mix this in together. And then the next step, I'll explain a couple of options on how you can kind of dilute the flavor of the pesto. So for the pesto, if you can get an oil, you can do that as your liquid to kind of nullify the intenseness of the pesto. If you don't want to do just oil, you can do like half water, half oil. Or if you can't really afford oil, you can also just use water. I am going to use roughly half a cup, but if you're using water, I would use like a 1/4 cup to start, or maybe even less. You can always add it in, but you can't take it away, so I would start like an 1/8, have a taste, see how it tastes. If you feel like it needs to be diluted more, you can always add more. And yeah, you can either do that. It does need something to dilute it because it will be quite strong in its natural form. And I almost forgot an important ingredient. Garlic powder. Forget it. Oh man. Don't worry, none of that'll go to waste, I promise. So just 1/4 teaspoon of garlic to that. That'll help intensify the flavorfulness of this. And it's a great addition to any pesto. I don't think it's actually traditional in regular pesto. I could be wrong about that and maybe thinking about something else, like maybe hummus. But yeah, I used about 1/4 teaspoon of the garlic powder, and now I'll just mix it all together. And I'm gonna let this sit overnight so that the flavors combine a bit more and kind of becomes more delicious. Before you let it marry together though, I would advise tasting it to make sure it has enough flavor and it's diluted enough. So for me, I am gonna say I'm gonna add a bit of salt and pepper to this. And maybe a bit more lemon juice. Maybe I can add a bit more of that to help kind of intensify the flavor. Don't overdo it on the salt and pepper, of course, because you don't want this to be too intense. I'm also adding a bit more lemon juice, maybe the juice of half a lemon, to kind of help it along. If you have weak hands, by the way, use a fork and kind of dig it into this area to kind of help the juice come out. So to recap, I used about 2 cups of leafy greens of any kind. And then I used about 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, half a cup of oil, half a lemon's worth of juice. And of course, with this one, you can always just freeze the juice and zest in ice cube trays in your freezer for a later use. Salt and pepper, I did about maybe 1/4 teaspoon of each of those. I did 2 tablespoons of cheese, which is all it really needed, and optional is some nuts. The nuts I used about 4 tablespoons, or maybe about 1/8 of a cup's worth. And that is all you need to make this pesto. And now I'm going to show you how you can preserve it for using in later recipes. So I am simply just gonna go ahead and label my bag with the word pesto. If you're doing more than one portion, you can like write 2 or 3 down, just so that you know how many portions there are. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be using some pesto this week. Let me double check on that for a second. No, I am not, so I can simply freeze this. Altogether, I would do about 2 servings, as you see here, per bag, because I have a little trick for kind of sorta making use of one bag for multiple servings. So I am gonna freeze this in 3 separate servings. So I want to add about 2/3 of this to one bag. Or you can even do the full thing in one bag and just freeze it very flat so that you can break off whatever amount you need as you go. So that's one option. So by freezing it really flat, what I mean is that you keep this absolutely flat. That way you can just snap off however much you need, defrost it, and it'll be ready to go. If you want to do this for like for just 2 servings, let's say, you would just simply fold this in half. I'll give you a better angle. So fold it in half after you score it, and that'll help it be more than one portion of pesto. So I'll show you that again at a closer angle. So simply score it. If you can, I would do a very deep score and then just fold it over like so and then squeeze it like that. That way you have 2 portions ready to go. So this is prep work 1 done. It'll be used in a couple recipes, so you at least want 2 portions of it total. I am just going to take this to the freezer and I'll see you in the next prep video. And as always, a banana. So since you have your greens out for your pesto anyway, we are gonna do a recipe that involves frozen greens. So if you want to freeze them now would be the perfect time to do it, or you can buy it later. It really depends because we're putting it on a sandwich, and I'm just gonna saute it in some butter, salt, and pepper on the stove top and then add that to our sandwiches, so dealer's choice. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed my content here today, liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing helps my channel go so far, and I appreciate those that do. See you next time. A banana.